only some or small segment of Islam. So he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used every mechanism that would help him to achieve his goal and to deliver his message. The best example of this is using the protection of his uncle, Abu Talib. Abu Talib was not Muslim. He died as not Muslim according to the vast majority of Muslims, understand. Some believe he converted before his death, but this is not the point. The point is, at the time when the Prophet started his da'wah, he used this tribal system of giving great respect to the head of the family. In this case was Abu Talib. And Abu Talib protected him significantly. And also, we remember when he went to Al-Taif, the other major city, to invite people to Islam. People were very impolite and insulted him, and they stoned him. He came back, sallallahu with, bloody face, and he was praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then before he goes back to Mecca, he sent Zayd ibn Haritha to the leaders of the tribes in Mecca, who would protect me, who would offer me protection so that I can deliver the message of my Lord. He ﷺ was trying to find someone to give him the tribal protection, called jiwar at that time. When someone declared this Muhammad is in my jiwar, means that his honor is my honor, his dignity is my dignity, his blood is my blood, he's one of me, I'm of him. Then he considers this a social protection against anybody else. So many people refuse to take that risk to welcome Muhammad ﷺ under their protection, because this means that they are willing to sacrifice themselves to protect him. One person with the name of Al-Mut'am ibn Adi, he accepted that. And he sent Zayd back to Rasulullah saying that, yes, I will take him in my jiwar. So this man, Mut'am ibn Adi, and his sons and his followers, people of his tribe, they went to Al-Kaaba and they declared in front of everybody that Muhammad is under our protection. So the leaders of Quraysh asked him a simple question: are you following him or just protecting him? He said, no, I'm not following him. I'm not a Muslim, but I'm protecting him. So he's not a Muslim, but he's a man of honesty, the man of justice. He said it's not fair for Muhammad, who was born and raised here, to be treated that way. I have committed no crime. He has the freedom of speech. This man is honest, and he believes that this man has done nothing wrong. We know him, he's a trustworthy, he's an Amin, he's brought nothing wrong. So he stood up with their swords, said, everybody, I want everybody to know that Muhammad is one of us. And people of Quraysh respected that. And the Prophet ﷺ came back to Mecca and practiced his da'wah, again, activism, under the protection of a person who's not Muslim. So he used ﷺ these mechanisms change from society to society, from time to time, but he ﷺ knew how to use these peaceful, legal, available mechanisms so that he can deliver his da'wah. Number two quick examples I just want to share with you here. The example of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. We like to recite and study the life of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam brought from his hometown, Palestine at that time, to Egypt as a slave. You know what his brothers did to him? And he was sold in the market as a slave. And he grew in the palace of one of the ministers of Egypt. And then you know what happened when the wife of this minister tried to seduce him. Then they put him unjustly in jail. He spent 7 to 9 years in jail. So he was sold in the market as a slave. Then he was in prison unjustly for 7 to 9 years. Then when the king saw the dream, he sought someone to interpret this dream for him. And the man who was, I assume you guys know the story. So the man who was with him in the cell told the king that I know someone who can interpret this dream for you. It is someone in the prison. So the king sent someone to Yusuf to bring Yusuf, look at this, from the cell to the palace. Not from the cell out in the street, but from the cell of his prison to the palace. And the king needs his service. However, Yusuf did not get so excited and happy that finally I will get out of the of prison. But he said, no, I'm not going to get out of here until you reopen the case and investigate why you put me in the prison in the first place. Again, to preserve his reputation. For us as Muslims, we have to protect our reputation. So they did reopen the case and they investigated and found out these women who got their hands were, trying to seduce him and so on and so forth. So when his innocence was declared, then it was time for him to go to the king. Before he goes to the king, he did not say, okay, you have to get me out of here first. You have to give me this first. Because he knew that the country is about to suffer great depression, if you want, drought, very bad economical disaster. People will have nothing to eat. It's a huge disaster. But Yusuf ﷺ did volunteer to interpret the dream. Not only that, when he came to the king and the king liked him and liked his interpretation, he asked him to appoint him over the land or the storehouses. قال اجعلني على خزائن الأرض. Appoint me over the storehouses of Egypt. I know how to solve this problem, how to prevent this crisis from happening. He's doing a lot of good, not only to himself. He did not want to take this political high position for his personal, to satisfy his personal ego, but he knew that this country is the country I'm in. I am a man of a mission. I have to serve this country. I have to do my best to prevent such crisis. So he asked it for the political position. And when he got this position, it was narrated that Yusuf ﷺ used to fast every other day. And people told him, how come that you have such authority over the storehouses of Egypt and you fast every other day? He said, I'm afraid that if I eat until I'm full, I will forget those who are starving. I want to have this connection with regular people. We hear from politicians all the time. They go and townhomes and stay in backyards of some families and go and shake hands with neighbors and small factories and so on. They want to make this point. We are connected with people, are not just the elite standing there. But Yusuf ﷺ was doing that himself. He was watching and observing this. Again, he did not say, these people put me unjustly in the prison. These people deserve what they get. I'll just protect myself. But he cared about Egypt, which is not his. He did not come to Egypt willingly. He was brought as slave to Egypt. But he, as a man of a mission, he understood that I have to be active and I have to take this political position, not for myself, but also to protect the lives of people. Another quick example, I have a few minutes left. The example of the man of the city. In Surah Yasin, we know the example of the city who worship their king, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to them two messengers. We have sent two messengers to them. فَكَذَّبُوهُمَا. They rejected these two messengers. Usually Allah sent one messenger, but for this particular city He sent two. And when people rejected them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the third messenger. 3 messengers to one city. There is some argument or debate between the messengers and their people, and Al-Quran focused more even on one individual who came from the farthest part of the city, coming all the way. قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اتَّبِعُوا الْمُرْسَلِينَ. It's amazing that Al-Quran talked more about this person than the debate or the conversation that took place between the messengers and their people. قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اتَّبِعُوا الْمُرْسَلِينَ. He was coming, running, or rushing. Al-Quran described how did he come to the city. He came. He was one of these cities. But he was staying outside because people didn't like his religion. So when he heard about the 3 messengers, he could have said, well, Allah has sent 3 messengers. I'm not required to put myself in trouble. These are messengers. I'm not a messenger. I'm going to follow them. That's it. But he came, telling his people, Ya qawmi ittabi'u al-mursaleen. Follow them. Ittabi'u man la yas'alukum ajran. Follow those who are not asking you for any payment. And then what happened? Al-Quran tells us that his own people, they killed him. They started beating him to death. And he died. And they started dragging his body to make him an example to anyone who opposed the policy of the leadership at that time. And after he died, Al-Quran said, قِيلَ ادْخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ. It was said to him, enter paradise. So what did he say? What was his reply when he saw the pleasure of Allah, when he saw paradise? قال يا ليت قومي يعلم. I wish my people know. Where am I now? I wish my people know that Allah has forgiven me and placed me with the most honorable people. He still have this passion with